Take you around Dog Nation in 90 seconds. This is DN90. Hello, everybody. I'm Brandon Adams, and the following conversation is brought to you by Dog Nation Invasion, coming to Jacksonville this Saturday, all presented by R.S. Andrews, Kroger, and Peach Pass. Now, the headlines coming out of the NCAA Board of Governors meeting in Atlanta on Tuesday would lead you to believe that the NCAA has decided to open up the world of image and likeness profit for the student athletes in which it governs. And that certainly may be partially true based on what the NCAA announced here this week, but the actual truth might be more complicated than that. Let me start with Ohio State President Michael V. Drake, who was among the committee that spoke and ultimately deliberated on this issue this week in Atlanta. Here's what Drake says. We must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes. Additional flexibility in this area can and must continue to support college sports as a part of higher education. This modernization for the future is a natural extension of the numerous steps NCAA members have taken in recent years to improve support for student athletes, including full cost of attendance and guaranteed scholarships. Once again, that's Ohio State President Michael V. Drake. So that part of an NCAA message that says they are open now to allowing athletes to profit off their image and likeness, but that shouldn't be taken to mean that there'll now be absolute freedom to profit in any way you want to, in addition to being a student athlete. One of the reasons why we know that is because of something NCAA President Mark Emmert said, who in the same announcement from the NCAA says, as a national governing body, the NCAA is uniquely positioned to modify its rules to ensure fairness and a level playing field for student athletes. The board's action today creates a path to enhance opportunities for student athletes. Now listen to this last part from Emmert, while ensuring they compete against students and not professionals. Once again, that's NCAA President Mark Emmert. So the word here, and what you take from the NCAA is what they hope to bring in is an era of compensation for athletes, but not necessarily total freedom, as has been proposed in the original California law, the legislation in place there, the Pay for Play Act. Now, it's important to remember that these states won't be prohibited from moving forward with their own legislation and deciding however they want to decide about the future of the college athletes there in their state. That could just lead to a showdown between lawmakers in various states and the NCAA before all of this is said and done. In other words, it might be in the near horizon if the NCAA gets its way that you might be able to play as Jake Fromm on your favorite college football video game, but not necessarily invite Jake Fromm and pay him to be at your birthday party to sign autographs for your kids and their friends. A lot of complicated details on this, a lot still to be worked out. One of the things that's also not completely clear right now is just how popular enhanced ability to profit off image and likeness is going to be nationwide, and what the lawmakers will be responsible for ultimately vouching for this one way or another. Let me give you an example from Twitter here just today. Richard Burr, a U.S. Senator from the state of North Carolina, upon hearing about this news from the NCAA, says that if college athletes are going to make money off their likeness while in school, their scholarships should be treated like income. I'll be introducing legislation that subjects scholarships given to athletes who choose to, quote, cash in to income taxes. So he says he now wants to tax the scholarships they receive as income, all leading to an obvious conclusion that right now all of this is completely complicated. The NCAA makes an announcement, they'll get some positive press for the announcement they made, but the words in which the NCAA uses here in and of itself, not a game changer. Are big changes eventually coming to the world of college athletics, college football in particular? Yes. Will athletes eventually, or at least seemingly the answer to that question is yes. Will athletes eventually have more freedom and control to profit off their image and likeness? That certainly also seems to be an era in which we're about to usher in. But complete and total freedom to sign autographs and show up at car dealerships or simply be paid to attend a particular school, we seem a long way away still from that happening, if ever. Change may have started by what the NCAA said today, but ultimately the message itself doesn't do too much to move the playing pieces around on the board, at least as of yet. You'll have to watch the legislature in the various states and maybe the U.S. Congress in particular to see where this goes from here. So Hope all that was clear. One thing I am certainly a lot more able to talk about in an expert manner is what's going to happen this Saturday, the Dog Nation Invasion tailgate before the world's largest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville. We can't wait for a great time there, and of course we really thank R.S. Andrews Kroger and Peach Pass for making it all possible. We hope to see all of you there for that if you were lucky enough to secure a ticket when they were available, but one way or another, we hope to see you there on the First Coast for the cocktail party here this weekend and back here again tomorrow for another episode of DN90.